Okay.
It's 10 o'clock.
Okay. So I'll give this a little test. Seems to help my breathing when I talk. But because of breathing problems, I was back in the hospital. And they took more fluid out of from underneath my lung. This time they took a liter. Kind of looks like Jello or something is what it looks like. And then this time they did it right. They gave me morphine, and they had a team of medical personnel taking care of me. The first time they did it, I felt like I was in the cowboy days or something. You know, they kind of just turned me around and put a little of that stuff that they, when they go to pull a tooth out, and they put it on the outside, and then they shove the needle through, and that's fine to get the needle in, but they didn't give me anything for once the needle was in. And then I guess they put a little tube in there, and I'll tell you, that's a painful experience. But the second time they did it, I kind of bitched and complained and to everybody, including the janitor that would listen. So this time they took me down into the dungeon, and where the ultrasound is, and this time they had 5 people working on me. They hooked me up, gave me some morphine, and you could still feel what's going on, but it just didn't hurt. So, you know, I'm a little more relaxed if I have to have this procedure again, and from the way that my breathing is again, I probably will. I don't know where it's coming from. Nobody seems to have that answer for me. They kind of dance around it whenever I ask. So we'll see. But I know that for some reason talking seems to help my breathing a little bit. I know that for some reason talking seems to help my breathing. So what's going on now, as far as exercise, I can walk 324 feet before my left leg starts to give out on me, and gets kind of painful. So I walk the 324 feet, which is 3 times around my swimming pool, and then I go sit down. That's it. I've had it. I don't have any appetite at all. At first, the thought of a Whopper from Burger King sounded good, and a Big Mac sounded good, a nice chili dog sounded good. There was a few things that sounded good, that of course are all bad for me, but they don't even sound good anymore. Food has become a medicine. It's not it's not something you enjoy. It's something that you do to live. Anita sets me out, soup and sandwich, and takes care of all my medicines in the morning, and make sure that I'm okay. And then she goes off to work, and I keep the phone close by, and in case I ever have to call out, or so that she can call in and check on me, because she's worried she worries all the time. And so that she can call in and check on me, because she worries all the time. And so for now, my life is pretty much boiled down to survival. That's it. Don't think about enjoying anything. you can't walk very far. Everything that I used to enjoy, coffee, wine, junk food, that's not good for me. And after you go through these kind of surgeries and they're pulling fluid out of you here and there, you really don't think about just doing whatever you want to do. It becomes pretty serious after a while, but more importantly, I concern myself with Anita, because whoever your caretaker is, if it's a family member, a spouse, or a child or whatever, it takes a lot out of them. They pretty much give up their life so that you can live. They don't get to go out and have fun anymore. They pretty much give up their life. They even start to change their diet, and they're constantly worried about you. So it's a big sacrifice for them. And then as the person that's putting that burden on them, you start to look at it. In the beginning, you don't notice it, but today is the third week of my recovery. 3 weeks ago is when they replaced this valve. So you start to think about things a little bit different. You start to think, am I ever going to get better? And what is better going to be like? Is better going to be like, before? Or is it even going to be better? Because actually, when you have a problem with your aortic valve, you weren't living that great of a life. You just didn't know it. Everything was, that great of a life. You just didn't know it. You just get used to stuff like that. Everything was, you just fix this little thing here. But a lot of this mainly is I talk because it helps my breathing. I can breathe a lot better if I talk. I guess it gets the carbon monoxide out or something. I don't know what it does, but it helps. It helps a lot. And that's pretty good, because anything that helps your breathing is really appreciated, let me tell you. And there's a lot that happens to you that at times it gets spooky. In the beginning it used to get real spooky, but now it's just, you kind of start getting used to it. At times it gets spooky. In the beginning it used to get real spooky, but now it's just, you kind of start getting used to it. And you kind of get used to the fact that you don't, you can't have a deep breath, so you kind of get used to. I kind of empathize with people who have emphysema, asthma, and things like that. That where you can't catch your breath like that, and but empathy isn't good enough. There's really, the only ones that can help you with any of this stuff is a doctor. And that's just the way it is. Good enough. There's really, the only ones that can help you with any of this stuff is a doctor. And that's just the way it is. I haven't used this thing in a while, so I'm still trying to see how everything goes. I won't be doing Healy too much until I feel better, because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and I like to get talking as soon as I can, because like I said, it helps my breathing. Sometimes it doesn't, So, if you can't breathe and something ain't working right, you just get agitated. And then, you end up not doing anything. So, if you can't breathe and something ain't working right, you just get agitated. So I'll just keep, I'll keep my regular voice and until I feel better. And then once I feel better, and I don't know when that will be, from everything I understand, this could take a year. So, that's a long time to be sick. And, I don't know if the way I was feeling just a few minutes ago, I may end up in there again this evening when Anita gets home. So they can take some more fluid, and what they do is they take some fluid. I spend the night, and they take x-rays and everything, and then they usually send me either home that day or the next day. But, actually I had a pretty good night's sleeping. I slept with my right arm above, kind of like underneath my head. So I woke up with, I slept with my right arm. I woke up with my right side, my right lung sore. Because I think what happens is that, the lungs, because of the operation and everything, they stick to your ribs. And that's what causes the pain. And so I slept with my right arm up because I could breathe better. And which I had a good night's sleep, I had nothing to complain about. I was able to sleep at home. Because there's sometimes it gets bad enough where I can't stay home. I have to go in and we lucked out, when we bought this house at the hospital. Hold on. And we lucked out, when we bought this house at the hospital. Hold on. To the Dixieland. Brothers, sisters, children, will you come with me? I'll take you to a place where there is no shame. Everybody, will you come with me? Take you to a place where there is no pain. We're going back to the Dixieland. Well, at least you get to listen to the blues while I answer the phone. Well, at least you get to listen to the blues while I answer the phone. So I guess I've got this all straightened up. I don't know. I'm just gonna, like I said, a lot of this I'm doing kind of to exercise my lungs. Like I said, a lot of so this I hope it works. I'll give it a test. I'll try to do this for an hour, and then I'll give it a test, and hopefully it works. I'll try to do this for an hour. What I wanted to do, which from everything I understand I can't do, is ride my bike. I got that old trike that I love riding around, and it's a lot easier than walking around, and you still get some exercise. And I think without any exercise, you're not going to have much of an appetite. So it's kind of overcast here, probably going to get some rain. Without any exercise, you're not going to have much of an appetite. So it's kind of overcast here, probably going to get some rain. So what I'm going to try to do, I've got to be careful what I'm doing here. What I'm going to try to do is get my bike out and If I can get it out of the garage without having to pick anything up or move it around, I might get it out to where I can, ride it around in the alley. And if you don't get any exercise, you're not gonna be hungry. And I can't walk very far. I can't walk but 324 feet, and I know that because that's the dimensions. That's the dimensions of the pool times 3. So I try to do that 3 or 4 times a day, and when you add it all up, it comes up to like 1,400 feet or something, which is not very far. When I think about some of the things I used to do, but we're long past what I used to do. Now we're into reality. This is the way it is. How long I'll be like this, nobody seems to know. They got the everybody's different thing, and so the diet that you have to be on when something like this happens to you it's pretty bad. No salt. If you've been eating salt all your life, that's a shock. At this time, no caffeine, no wine. There's no fried foods. Pretty much you gotta just like be almost a vegetarian. Is probably the safest way to go. Not even fool around with red meat. But they used to give me red meat in the hospital all the time. But you can get tired of chicken and fish and all that bland stuff. It's quite an experience, that's all I gotta say. And anybody who isn't taking good care of their health, one of the symptoms of something like this that a person's really got to be careful about and don't be blowing it off is that your ankles get swollen. Mine's had been getting swollen since I've been here in Florida. I noticed that. They may have been like that in Colorado too, and I didn't pay too much attention to it. I just thought, first thing somebody thinks of when, their ankles are swollen or whatever, they're retaining water, they're eating too much salt. Well, it can also be your heart. Your heart will start throwing out all these little messages. And if you ain't somebody that goes to the doctor regularly, then you're not going to know. And what could happen to you is what happened to me. It'll just get you. It'll just tell you that's it. We gave you your warnings, as many warnings as we could. Sometimes you can't breathe, you can't sleep, or you wake up from sleep because you couldn't breathe. So you start putting them all together, and you could have a heart problem. You need to get it checked. And thankfully, with Obamacare, we can do that now. And hopefully, if this all turns out right, Medicaid is going to pick up this bill. We've gotten one bill so far for $3,800, but I can't even imagine what the surgeon costs and what the operation costs. And all in all, I've been in the hospital for about 3 weeks. Although I've left for a couple of days, but it's pretty much going to add up to 3 weeks. So 3 weeks in a hospital can be pretty expensive. And that's just as you're being, as they're just taking care of you and draining fluids and, doing stuff like that. Monitoring you, checking your blood pressure, taking blood samples and testing different medicines on you. Right now they've got my blood pressure down. I think this morning it was 106 or 108 over 68 or something like that. So as soon as they got my blood pressure down, I noticed I could breathe better. When it was real high, like 178 over, 90 something. I can't remember exactly, but it was what they would consider high. But then they say, well, everybody's different. So what was high, I couldn't breathe. And this last time that I went into the hospital, as soon as I got there, they shot me up with this stuff that lowered my blood pressure from like 177 down to 154. And as soon as they got it low like that, I could breathe. But still, I had a liter of this fluid sitting underneath my lung, which is another reason I'm not hungry. When you get that fluid sitting under your lungs like that, and you expand your stomach, then, it starts to suffocate you. So you got to be, you don't feel like eating. And then by the time you get it all fixed, your stomach is shrunk. And food isn't what it used to be. Food takes on a whole different meaning, a whole different life of its own. You don't eat because it tastes good anymore. You might as well get used to that. That's not going to happen. That you're going to sit down to a big old steak and mashed potatoes and gravy and a salad and a glass of wine or two, and you're going to enjoy the taste. That isn't why you eat anymore. Now you eat to keep your strength up. And at this time, I'm anemic. I've become anemic. I don't know if it was the loss of blood. I don't know exactly how they do it. They say that I'll bounce back from that the body will make the stuff that I need so that I won't be anemic anymore. Because it's really not a condition that I had, being anemic. It was because of the operation. So as I slowly heal, I guess being anemic will go away too. But I don't know. I've never been through this, and that's one of the reasons why I'm recording this, is so that, if this helps anybody, and it makes their journey through this a little easier, because now they know what to expect, what kind of pain they're going to be dealing with, what kind of pain levels they're going to be dealing with, and what's not going to hurt. Through this whole thing, my heart operation, my chest and all that has never hurt. It's never bothered me. It's always been my lungs, something to do with my lungs. So, you'll get these little pinches. That's all you get from the heart operation. You get a little pinch here and there. But for the most part, the operation itself doesn't hurt. And one of the nurses did say that they cut all the nerves, so if they cut all the nerves, you're not going to feel nothing anymore anyway, ever. So the problem has been, as far as pain, is my lungs sticking to my ribs. Or when they go to drain the fluid. But now that they're giving me morphine, and they know that in order for them to do anything to me, they better give me morphine. Which, it's nice. It's been the hospital it's a great hospital. I guess they specialize in the heart there. It's supposed to be one of the best heart hospitals in the area. But as far as the staff and everything, great. You couldn't ask for anything more. There's nothing to complain about. The place is really clean. They keep it clean. Everybody that comes in, from the janitor to the clergy, whoever comes in, that's all they want to do is help. It's an amazing thing. And as far, if you have to be in a hospital, and if this has to happen to you, the hospital I was in, or the hospital I'm dealing with now, is great. And they did, a lot of stuff, including they handled getting me all fixed up with Medicaid. They're fixing up my Social Security so they help me apply for Social Security. And that's one of the things, that this operation does, is your concentration is lowered. your your fighting attitude is lowered. But every once in a while, it'll jump out. You know, somebody tells you the wrong thing or something. You know, and you know you just feel almost normal for while you're straightening them out to a few facts. But for the most part, they lower your blood pressure, so you know you're not aggressive at all for the most part. And one of the things that this operation also does to you, it messes with your emotions, so that you're real emotional about everything. I mean everything. Commercials, movies, music, you know, everything. You're just emotional about it. Somebody does something nice for you, you're really emotional about it. And there's nothing you can do. You know, I call it the John Boehner syndrome. And I wouldn't be surprised if John Boehner has had open heart surgery, because it's one of the things that happen to you. Your emotions are real strong. Now, some people, they think that's a good thing, to have strong emotions. I personally would just like regular emotions, you know. If something's funny, I want to laugh, you know. And if something's sad, you know, I want to be sad, but I don't want to fall apart over every little thing, you know. A commercial on TV, or, you know, a movie or something like that. You don't want to be like that for very long. You don't want to be. I don't want to be like that at all. So I fight it, do the best I can to fight it, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's the way I am. I don't want to be that kind of person, and so if I can, I will. And sometimes, you know, emotions are something you can't control, no matter who you are or what's going on. If everything is in the right line, you're going to have that emotion. So this is my second report, and what I'm seeing, this is going to be 28 minutes so far. And after a while, you know, I imagine there isn't going to be too much to say until we start getting into the insurance end of it, what everything's going to cost, and how is Obamacare working, and you know, is this the way it's supposed to be? You know, am I supposed to be able to get this sick and not lose everything I own? That's what Obama said. You know, we shouldn't have to get sick and lose everything we own. So I'm gonna shut this off before I start repeating myself, and I'm gonna give it a test and see how it worked. Hopefully it worked. You can see all the meters jumping around and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this move down into the latest video and go into the queue, get rid of the other one. This is the new one. And like I said, I really got to keep talking because it helps my breathing. So, you know, maybe I'll come on and do the weather. Or, from what I see, there ain't much news, you know, that I'm interested in. Pretty much the same old thing, different people saying the same thing. But I hope that these little reports help somebody, you know, because after I got home the first time, one of the things that I did is I went to YouTube and started looking everything up, and people had posted a lot of their stuff. So, you know, maybe I'll do the same. Maybe I'll start posting these audios like this for people to listen to. And I'm going to take a picture of this cut. Whenever I get a chance, I'm going to take a picture of it. Anita will have to take the picture. And, you know, I'll post it somewhere. So for now, I'm gonna shut this down, and whatever time of day it is that you're listening, I hope it continues to be a good day, and take care of yourself, because this kind of thing is no picnic, and it's not funny. Um, it's easy to laugh, and I do, when I talk to people. But the reality of this is serious business, and you can die. So, if you haven't been watching what you eat, pay attention to it a little bit. If you're not feeling good, pay attention to it a little bit. If your hands or your feet are swelling, or if you wake up at night and you can't breathe, kind of abnormally tired all the time, your heart beating real fast for no reason, things like that, pay attention to it. Pay attention to yourself, because, they may be able to fix it without going through what I went through. And if that's the part that I help with, that's good. But there's quite a few people that go through this, and it's an experience. It does a lot to you. It changes you a lot. So for now, I'm gonna say adios. Have a good day.